Morning. It's August. We just had our Stamp Club kickoff yesterday. We're still, a lot of people are still quarantining or just protecting themselves, which is great. So we have quite a few Stamp Club members who arranged for their packet of cards to be a takeaway or a pickup or a to-go option. So I'm going to just spend a couple minutes making the cards here on camera so that you can make them at home, and you won't have the same stamp sets, all of them I'm sure that I'm using, but you can figure out something that you do own, or you can save them for a day that you're back here and can use my stamps. So I'm just gonna switch you over so that you can see my desktop and follow along and refer to this, because you probably don't have all your stuff right in your hands and want to try to craft while you watch. That's super hard, but you can watch it and then come back and refer to it. So I'm just going to switch you over. I'm going to try to pull this up on my laptop so I can see it also at the same time. And then I'll know that I have the right video going here. Let's see. Okay. All right, switching over. Hold on. You know, it's tricky. And then I forget to talk, so you're just seeing seeing me arrange the camera. All right. So first thing that I was doing was refilling my adhesive, which has completely run out. We do that a lot at Stamp Club. We go through a lot of adhesive, and remember, anytime you need refills or a new dispenser, just let me know. I carry some in stock, but I can order it for you, and I order in bulk so that it's very affordable. I have the whole tray. I have all the supplies that we used yesterday here, so I'm going to just kind of plow through that a little bit so that I can find the stamps that we used so I can find the kit underneath all of the inks and stamps. So yeah, if you have these stamp sets, and shoot, the stamp sets are downstairs, so I can't even tell you, but one has these cute little kittens. So many options. So here's the first card that we did, and this is the one I want to do with you first. It's got this sweet cat, a little bit of designer paper that has cat bowls with fish and yarn, and clearly a cat card. And I think just about everybody was fine with that. They knew that they have some friend that has a cat, but I'm not sure that many of you actually have that stamp set. So I have an alternative for you. Some of the things I've been pointing out lately for my stamping friends is that these cards, when they are scored down the middle, it's never really a very absolutely perfect score, and that doesn't really bother me, because I watch people open their cards, and I watch them like try to get it open, and if the fold is not perfect, you get this little overlap on one side, and I always make that the front of the card. Then when the person has the card and they're trying to open it, they can grab right onto that. Now this would bother me, so I'm gonna, can you see that, how it makes like it's not close at all at the edge there? So it was probably cut wrong in the first place, and if I wasn't on camera, I would trim it to make it perfect, but we're gonna just pretend we don't see that and move along. So I have Flirty Flamingo here, and that little piece of DSP from the Pets at Play, I think it's called. And I'm sure none of you have this because it's very new and I haven't seen it come through my orders yet. So if that is not floating your boat, go through your designer paper and find something that matches and that works for you. So I found this from some retired paper and cut it and got it ready to use on this card. And then I looked around for some flowery stamps because I know everybody has flowery stamps. And I want this nice green ink. And I don't know how this is going to look. This is Bermuda Bay. I don't really know how it's going to look stamped on cardstock instead of on white, Whisper White. But we're going to just go crazy and do it. So join me. Here we go. This is one of our like realistic looking stamps. It's got a lot of gradient to it, so it's gonna be really nice on here. And I want it to peek out from under the designer series paper, not float in the middle of the card. So can you hear my chair squeaking as I'm pushing and pushing on this? Well, that's pretty nice, girls. I kind of like that. And then, you know, you need a sentiment. I pulled out a sentiment. This says, birthdays are the best. Excuse me if I get my head or my self into your viewing area. And these are, you know, our photopolymer stamps. So I should have a piece of foam under here. I do have, this pad has a tiny bit of foam and then there's some paper underneath. So I do get kind of a little bit of a push, but I'm definitely giving it every opportunity to transfer. And as you can see, that worked pretty well. So our assembly from here on is just assembly. So we're gonna put this little designer paper on here, letting our flower peek out from under it. And then a little bit of ribbon, baker's twine, right? And this is about everybody's biggest complaint when they come to Stamp Club is that I make them tie bows. And it's funny how some people just hand me their card like, I'm not tying a bow, it's not going to happen. And that's fine. But I try to remind you to use like a clothespin. Here's a little, this is a quilter's clip, but here's a clothespin. So I'm going to put that clothespin under there and hold that knot. And then I'm actually going to tie a knot in it so that I can then tie the bow. Okay, beautiful bow. There we go. Woo! Almost killed myself with the scissors. I hope that someone will call 911 for me if I cut myself. If I cut myself. All right, so. Oh, you guys, there's supposed to be a white panel. Look at that. There's supposed to be this white panel here. I did it all on the Fleur de Flamingo, and I kind of like it. I think we're going to stay with it. So we'll have the Fleur de Flamingo. We'll have the white for inside the card so that you can write on it, right? All right. No mistakes in stamping, just opportunities. So we're going to go this way. We're going to go this way. Adhere this. Then we're going to put the white in the inside. Well, that was just like a big happy mistake there. Okay. So birthdays are the best days or a real treat. Either way, same supplies, kind of a cute card, right? All right, let's see if we can do the next one a little closer to the sample. Go ahead and test me, see how it goes. And this is the finished version. It's pretty sparkly. I love this new glimmer paper that we have available. It's new in the main catalog, and it is just fantastic. It's easy to work with, it's easy to cut, it's easy to glue. You know, sometimes our glimmer papers are slippery on the back, and this is not. It's not slippery at all. It's wonderful. Wonderful. So what I'm going to have you do is adhere all of these little glimmer paper rainbow strips to the black pieces. And oh, you can't even see it because I have this nice black desk, but I'll get the card base out and then we'll be able to tell what we're doing. Okay. Can you hear my adhesive dispenser go clickety clickety? I tell you, when I do Stamp Club, I want to hear that sound. I want to hear you guys putting enough adhesive on your elements so that they stay on the card. This glimmer paper has a little bit of a curve to it, a bend to it, so you really do need to adhere it to the little black cardstock pieces. And black actually has some texture to it, so anytime you're working with texture, you need a little extra adhesive so that your pieces hold together. All right, so I'm going to fold this. Pay a little bit more attention to my folds, and it seems like a better cut card this time. And then I'm going to lay these out so I can kind of plan it and figure out where I want them, what order they kind of look best. Okay, so that's very subjective. You decide how it looks best. And then the trick that I want you to employ here is to set this first one, get it in the top and right hand side. But don't work your way down. Go to the last one, and then we'll squeeze the middle ones in between the first and last so that we don't end up with too wide of spaces. Right? If we did this too wide, we'd end up with one piece wanting to fall off the end, and we don't want to have to trim or rearrange or pull them up. So do your top one, and then your bottom one, and then the middles. So this glimmer paper is so popular and so fabulous that it's currently unavailable. It's coming back. It's one of the things that Stampin' Up! Can manage is paper and stamps. So sometimes they go on back order, or they go on unorderable, but they come back. All right, next I'm going to use these new vellum doilies, and they are vellum, which makes them slippery, and they are a doily, so they're all these little fine cuts. So how the heck are we going to glue this on, right? Well, guess what? We're not. We're going to just lay it there. And then we're going to find, guess, I don't have my punch up here. It's still downstairs where we did all our punching yesterday. So I have to just find something in my box. Can you see this box sits on my desk? My back table. It's just a whole box of die cuts and scraps of white. So, what's this little one here? Nope, same. Okay. So then we need our stamp, and it says you got this. It's not going to fit in that itty bitty one. I don't really like it. Well, I guess that one's going to be the one. It's going to be square. And it is Gorgeous Grape. But you could use a lot of different ink colors because of the rainbow glimmer paper. Let's go this way. So there we go. A lot of crazy angle there. and we're gonna load it with dimensionals. So the dimensionals on the back of this are gonna hold it to the glimmer paper. It's gonna hold the doily. So when I say load it, I just mean do your corners like you always do, and then add 1 or 2 for the vellum doily, which, you know, the price of 2 extra dimensionals compared to the effort of futzing around with some kind of glue on that vellum and making a mess on your card, this is so worth it. So worth it. All right, so now we can leave this like a diamond and put this in the middle of it, or we can make it all a line, kind of like this. So try it on, look it over a couple times, figure out what you like, and adhere your sentiment to it. Now, I will say that that's got a little bit of just sad open white space there. So I have, these are pearls that I have just used a Sharpie or a green alcohol marker on, our blender pens. I made them green. I think that's gonna look good on here. If I wasn't on camera, I might go find regular pearls and put gorgeous grape on them. But I think what I'll do is put a couple down here, and that will totally make sense then, right? The green pearls. Oh yeah, it's staying right there. There we go. Okay. All right, friends, that's card number 2 for today. That came out pretty darn close to the original, right? We didn't have to tie a bow, and everything is looking good. Alrighty, next, and the final card. I don't need that because we didn't do that cat. All right, final card. Here we go. It is like a shadow effect. So we're using just 2 little a flower and a leaf, 2 little floral stamps that I'm sure you have some kind of a floral stamp in your collection. And we are going to stamp in Whisper White first, and then Bermuda Bay. Whisper White and Bermuda Bay. So you will need to have a cleaning cloth handy after you do all of this white stamping. Drag your fingers through it. There's no extra charge. Okay. So we're going to go with our Whisper White. And this ink pad was used all day yesterday by the, I don't know, 10, 11 people who came and stamped. So it's a little bit less wet than it might have been, but it's still going good. All right, I'm going to put a little piece of scrap paper under this so I don't get Whisper White on my black stamping pad here. All right, so one of the things that I try to teach people is that if you want a random look, you need to be organized. Yeah, I know that makes no sense, right? So when you are stamping a random arrangement, if you start in one corner and work your way to the other corner, and go ahead and rotate the stamp so that it doesn't look like you're being organized, you're going to get this really effective random look. So I'm going to fill in with the row of leaves, and I'm rotating the stamp. This way and that way, just to get that second and third row. So I have 1 row of flowers and then a row of leaves on each side of it at an angle. Then you come back with your original stamp and fill in. And then hit your corners. See how random it is? And you wouldn't know that I was very organized in my randomness. Fill in a couple little bits here and there. Don't make it too crowded. Now I'm done with the white. So we're gonna put that away. Oh, if this camera could see more of my desk, it would be good to show you a little more, but not too much more, because there is some really piled up stuff here. And we're going to go into Bermuda Bay next. Therefore, I want to do a pretty good job of getting this clean so that I'm not leaving white craft ink on my Bermuda Bay pad. We already closed the windows and put the air conditioning on. I opened up last night. It gets nice to sleep, but then before 10 o'clock in the morning, it already feels horribly humid and very strong promise of heat coming. So you can hear the fans blowing. All right, here we go. Into the Bermuda Bay. So another thing I see people do all the time, these nice right-handed people, and they put their ink pad, I don't know, maybe that's the only spot left on their desk. They put their ink pad over here and they're reaching over and stamping, reaching over, and it makes me nuts to watch people do this. So I'm going to recommend that you put your ink pad on your right side if you're right-handed. I'm going to start with the flower. And now with this step, it's like a shadow that we're creating, but we don't want it to be perfect, and we don't want to agonize over this. This is just stamping. It's not heart surgery or brain surgery, whatever that saying is. So I'm going to look down through my Claremont stamp, and I'm going to kind of put it on there. And it is nowhere near perfect, and that is what I'm going for. So if I did get it perfect, that would be okay. But if I don't get it perfect, that is just fine. You want it to be kind of in the vicinity, right? But not necessarily perfect. All right, are you looking at your stamp? So this flower is, even though it's a flower, it's a solid shape. It's not an outline shape, and I'm not tempted to go back and want to color it. It's a solid shape. So when you're looking for a stamp to substitute for this, you want solid shapes, so that it'll carry a little bit of ink with it, right? All right, got nothing to say. So Stamp Club will be on first Wednesday of the month. As long as we're still waiting for a nice vaccine, I will be happy to do packets to go, like this month. And I will make appointments for people so that we never have more than 2 or 3 people here at most. And if it's 3, it'll be 3 that you know and that you have agreed. And then we bring our masks with us, and if it's just a couple of us, we don't have to worry about it. If it's people you don't know or one person across from you that you're not familiar with, we will mask up. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all, even if I don't get to see all of you, just with our masks on. And Stamp Club is, as always, a 10-month time period from September to June. Everybody in club gets 1 month when they are the hostess. And there we go. I always want to burnish it, right? Do you want to burnish it? But then it's still wet. I don't want to smear it, so flip it over. Just flip it over. And when I started this process, here we go. There was another little piece of paper here for me to put a sentiment on. So let's do that. And then I can close the ink and I'll be less likely to wear it. Alrighty. Oh, that couldn't be more cockeyed. How did I do that? Let's flip this over and try it this way. A little better. And again, not perfect, but that's okay. Can you even see it? Yeah, you can see that. All right, so 10 months, a $15 purchase is all that we need for Stamp Club, $15. And once a year, you're going to get a nice $50 shopping spree. Gotta keep my thoughts together. So the punch that we used on the original card is downstairs. So we're not going to be doing that. But you probably don't have that in your house anyway. So what we're going to do is just give that a little shape. Some shape. Then I'm going to adhere it to the Bermuda Bay strip here. And match those ends. And we're going to adhere that to the card. So we need the card. Got ourselves a little wall. Showing off all of my non-Stampin' Up! Tools up here. All right, so which way does this go? This way or this way? I think it's all good either way. So again, put enough adhesive on it so you don't get parts falling apart. Line up your corner so that you get a nice straight placement. I think some dimensionals on our sentiment are in order. Can you hear Mark?
Are you still on?
I am. I'm still on, and I'm hearing the dog, but it's okay. He's far enough away. You all know I have a dog, and he's protecting us because there's probably a mailman down there. All right, so the last thing that we did yesterday is we used Shimmery Crystal Effects, and it's this nice tube. It's glue with glitter in it. Glue with glitter in it. And it's very affordable. It's a nice little thing that you can add to every single card. And the only drawback is that it needs time to dry. It takes, you know, it's going to take an hour. So everybody had to carefully carry their little package home yesterday. If you have pearls, because I know most of you don't have this, but if you have pearls, you can use them. If you have this, all you want to do is, don't shoot it out. Just apply it like a little squeeze there. And set it aside to dry. So it makes like a little lump, but as it dries, the lump settles. That's a good word for it. It like dries down, so you get a flat little shiny spot on your card. And I don't know if you're familiar with the rule of threes, but the rule of threes is somehow our brain likes to see things in odd numbers. So I'm putting little threes on here. All right, so if you are watching and you're not in Stamp Club, we have plenty of room for more people. We love to make new stamping friends. And like I said, I'm doing it by appointment or to go. So even if you aren't local, you're welcome to be part of our Stamp Club. And we make 3 cards every month. 3 cards, no envelopes. The envelopes you can order and have them on hand rather than having to pay a higher price every single month so that I cover my costs, right? So Stamp Club is $15 commitment that attend every month for 10 months. If you don't attend, you take your package to go, and that's totally fine. And then we make the 3 cards. And this is a completely different color. What do you think about that? I don't know why or where I pulled this piece from, but not the same. So Stamp Club is social. We come, we talk, we visit, and we make the 3 cards. And I try to introduce you to new products, to new techniques, without being a difficult class. It's a fun class. Oh, you guys, did you see this? Total smudge here on this one. Ugh. So just leave me a comment or contact me at dtolixon@gmail.com, and I will give you the details and send you all the information so that you can join us. And that is it. 3 cards for August 2020. I'm going to flip the camera again, so try not to be dizzy. Oh, there I am in my readers. Always room for a new person. We're always happy to have you join us. And I will see you, members, I'll see you in September. That's it for today. Bye-bye.